Here's where it gets really clever. I think everybody in the crypto space is waiting for the day, waiting for the project that's going to cause mass adoption of cryptocurrencies so that we'll be able to go using cryptocurrencies in our day-to-day lives, paying for goods and services, and we may even be paid in cryptocurrencies. However, there is a problem before that comes along, and that's not to do with the on-ramps for people entering the cryptocurrency space. It's to do with the volatility that's inherent with cryptocurrencies currently. Imagine a business takes an order for $1,000 paid in Bitcoin, and then the next day that Bitcoin is now worth $800, or the next day that Bitcoin is now worth $1,200. In terms of accounting, business planning, tax records, it's a complete nightmare. That volatility just isn't feasible for businesses and merchants. It's not great for retail cryptocurrency holders either. Why do I want to spend my Bitcoin right now that's worth $1,000 when I think tomorrow or the day after it's going to be worth $1,500? So then you don't have any cryptocurrency moving through the economy, giving velocity, circulating freely, and that can be a real problem. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about a new project that's recently launched that uses a very clever dual token economy in order to stabilize the price of cryptocurrency. Now, before I go into that, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT, join my announcement Telegram group. If you're watching this on YouTube, come over to BitTube because I post my videos on BitTube first. Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Centric Cash and Centric Rise. You can find out more from their website, joincentric.com, all the links in the description below. And very briefly, Centric Cash and Centric Rise are tokens that run on the Tron blockchain. Now, one of the advantages of that is very, very low fees and very, very fast. So they're not plagued by the high gas fees that plagues Ethereum tokens, and it's much, much faster than Ethereum tokens. So here we have two tokens, one of them Centric Cash and one of them Centric Rise. Now, what happens with Centric Rise is that it is a deflationary currency. Every hour, a certain number of Centric Rise tokens are burnt, and the price is coded into the open source smart contract such that it goes up over time, coupled with the hourly burn. And you can track the hourly burn on the Centric Rise Explorer. And by the end of August, it'll be about $12, and in a year's time, it'll be over $100. One of the reasons why people move into the cryptocurrency space, certainly is true for me, is in order to speculate. I want to purchase this asset, principally Bitcoin, hold on to it, and then I can sell it later. Now, there may be other reasons as well. For me personally, as a former social worker, there was no pension in my career. I want to be able to secure my family's financial future. And it's a hedge against governments printing pounds and dollars and euros like crazy, in the same way that silver and gold are a hedge. But Bitcoin has certain advantages, which is that it's so incredibly easy to transfer. So Centric Rise has this increasing price and this decreasing supply. And what that does is it incentivizes people to go and get some Centric Rise and hold on to it. Why wouldn't you? If it's $10 now and you know it's going up every hour because some are being burnt and you can see it on the blockchain and in the code, and in a year's time, it's going to be worth over $100, and who knows what it's going to be worth after 2 years or 3 years. So how do you get Centric Rise? Well, you can't purchase Centric Rise on any exchanges. What you have to do is you have to go and buy the sister token, Centric Cash, which is currently available on BitHum, Bittrex, Probit, and CoinTiger, and they're going to be announcing more exchanges where it's going to be listed in due course. So what I would do is I would go to an exchange, purchase Centric Cash, put it in my wallet where I have the private keys, so it's secure, and then I can use an application called centricswap.com to convert the Centric Cash to Centric Rise. Now, what happens in that process is the Centric Cash that's converted gets burnt, gone, that's it. And then I'm given Centric Rise, and then I can send the Centric Rise to my wallet where I have the private keys. Now, if I want to convert Centric Rise to Centric Cash, I use the same application, just the other way. Centric Rise gets converted to Centric Cash, and new Centric Cash gets minted by the protocol. So the supply of Centric Cash goes up and down according to the demand that there is for Centric Cash. Here's where it gets really clever. I'm going to use arbitrary prices to make it kind of simple, just to explain. So these prices are for illustrative purposes only, but there is one price that isn't arbitrary, and that is the fix between centric cash and centric rise. For the purposes of the exchange, there is an exchange control, a peg, where one centric cash is always priced at $1 when it comes to the conversion in either direction. So if one centric rise is worth $10 and the peg of centric cash to centric rise is $1, then I will need 10 centric cash to get one centric rise. Pretty simple, huh? What's the big deal in that? Well, the big deal in that is that the supply of centric cash is liquid. And what incentivizes people to purchase centric cash in exchange for centric rise is the arbitrage. Now, what do I mean by arbitrage? Arbitrage takes place where you purchase an asset from one particular location and you exchange it in another location, and there's a difference in price. So, for example, I might buy gold here for $2,000 an ounce and then sell it here for $2,100 an ounce, and then I make $100 in the exchange. Now, here's how it goes with centric cash and centric rise. Remember, the peg between centric cash and centric rise is centric cash is always worth $1. The price of centric rise is programmed to keep going up. So here's what I do. I go to an exchange. I purchase centric cash. Let's say I purchase it for 1 cent. Remember, these prices are for illustrative purposes only. So I purchase 100 centric cash and it costs me $1. I then convert the centric cash to centric rise. I have 100 centric cash. I now get 10 centric rise. And the price of the centric rise is currently $10 and going up every hour, as I can see on the blockchain. So I'm taking advantage of the arbitrage opportunity, buying for a cent, converting for $1. And those centric cash that are converted get burnt. The idea is that more and more people go to the exchanges, purchase centric cash, convert it to centric rise. The centric cash gets burnt, disappeared, sent to an address where nobody has the private key. So the supply of centric cash on the exchanges diminishes, it goes down. So what do you think happens to the price of centric cash? There's more people demanding it and there's lower supply. The price of centric cash goes up. So it's now 10 cents for a centric cash, for example, but there's still a great arbitrage opportunity. So I buy 10 centric cash and it gets for $1 and it gets me 10 centric rise when I convert them, and those centric cash get burnt. But now the price of centric cash is 50 cents. So I buy 2 centric cash, convert it to centric rise, that centric cash gets burnt and it reduces the supply of centric cash even further. So now centric cash is worth, there's so much demand for it, the price of centric cash goes up to $1.10 on the exchanges. So what happens? Well, I'm not going to go and buy it on the exchange because it's too expensive. I'd only lose money when I convert it to centric rise. So what happens is people take their centric rise, convert it at $1, and then go and sell it on the exchanges and take advantage of the arbitrage opportunity there. So I convert it for $1 each, and then I go and sell it for $1.10 in that example. And what happens to the supply of centric cash on the exchanges in the marketplace? The supply increases, the price goes down. If it goes down too far, there's an arbitrage opportunity from centric cash to centric rise. So it goes down to 90 cents. I go and buy up some centric cash, convert it to centric rise at $1 per conversion. I'm making 10 cents on each conversion. The supply dries up, the price goes up, and eventually the supply stabilizes in the marketplace for $1. When there's too much supply on centric cash in the exchanges, the price goes down and people take advantage of the arbitrage opportunity in the conversion. When there's too little supply, people convert centric rise to centric cash the other way, and the price stabilizes at $1. All the while, centric rise remains attractive because the value of it keeps going up as coded in the blockchain, and the supply of it keeps going down as it keeps getting burnt, and no new centric rise are being created. Now, what has this got to do with mass adoption? Here's where it gets really clever. Here's centric cash. It stabilizes at $1. It's kept in equilibrium by the conversion with centric rise. And it's fast with very low fees. So I can go to a merchant or a business and I can pay for $1,000 worth of goods or services with 1,000 centric cash tokens. And then the merchant can account for that because he or she will know that in the following days to come, centric rise, it's still going to be worth $1,000. Now, it might go up or down 1 or 2 cents, but pretty much it's going to stay at $1,000. It's a reliable and stable form of currency. Not a stable coin, though. It's not a stable coin. Its price is pegged, kept in equilibrium by its relationship with centric rise and the arbitrage opportunity in either direction if the price fluctuates from $1. Now, how could this fail? Well, it could fail if there isn't sufficient adoption, if there isn't sufficient usage, if there aren't enough people who are up for taking advantage of the arbitrage opportunity. Once they start taking advantage of the arbitrage opportunity, well, then it's a no-brainer for the merchants to begin to adopt it because it takes away a lot of the friction that's involved with fiat currencies, because fiat currencies are declining in value because of the government's money printing. So this is the basic economics of centric cash and centric rises dual token economy. So let me know, what do you think of this? Do you think that this process can actually work and be effective? Would you be interested in holding centric rise? Would you go and get yourself some centric cash? Only after you've done your own due diligence and checked it out for yourself. I'll have the links in the description below for the Telegram group and also for the website so you can check it out. Please subscribe, comment, like. I intend to do more videos on centric cash and centric rise. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rip signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.